So the General Health Pack is really interesting because it's not what most people think of as vitamins. It has all of the vitamins that you could possibly need, but it's all these foods that you're not normally eating. It's made specifically out of foods. So you're getting radishes and black Spanish radish and cauliflowers and broccolis and all these different things that a lot of people don't even put into their bodies ever. And you're getting the whole complement of those foods as opposed to just getting little pieces that when you get a drugstore vitamin.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy way to get everything in.
Yeah, and it also is really good at being broken down into your system, so it's not bad on your stomach. So a lot of vitamins cause stomach problems, they cause burping, that kind of stuff. These don't do that. So that really is a big part of helping you get your proper nutrition without having to make sure that you're eating 10 gallons of cauliflower and 20 gallons of spinach and that kind of stuff, right? Because who the heck wants to do that? So, when you started out here and we first met you, I think you were in the 300s, and then we started working with you and changing some things. I know we use a pretty big team approach. So you see chiropractors, physical therapists, nutritionists, sports psychologists, all types of things to kind of create a balanced program. And from that, was it like an instantaneous jump, or did you just start seeing that you were able to make different patterns and ultimately, I mean, obviously all your hard work and training, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit because I think everybody needs to know how much effort you put into this. It's not just us we turned you into this great athlete. We take great athletes and we make them better. And ultimately, the question is what was the progression to get from 320 to getting into the state championship?
I mean, it definitely didn't just happen. It took time, and definitely having the support here and everyone motivating me and just finding out things that I didn't know, and I was like, oh, okay, now I got it. It's good. Yeah,
so learning, like you're learning as you go along. And I think there's not enough of that in sports. I mean, we end up having coaches that pay attention only to the sport specific stuff, and they're really good with that. But it's if you take an elite athlete, and we work with lots and lots of elite athletes in every sport, and you take that elite athlete, you can make them progressively better by just looking at the little pieces that no one's looking at. If there's joints in the spine that are not moving correctly, well, it changes nerve firing patterns. You change the ability of the body to actually work the muscles the way that they should. So in your sport, if the nerve is firing incorrectly on one side versus the other, you may not get as long of a reach. And if you get a shorter reach, then obviously you're going to have less pulling power. And I think that's a big thing that nobody really understands. They just keep telling you, go out there and do more reps, do more reps, do more reps. And if you're having these breakdowns and you don't really even know about them, you can't correct them. And I think that's one of the things that we have done really well with you is help you understand how your body actually works so that you can make those changes in your training, right?
Yes. And then with my shoulder, I know if I didn't come here, it would definitely be a bigger problem than it is today, so.
Yeah, I mean, maintaining health in an athlete that's where I think you work out 3-4 hours a day, something crazy like that. And most really good elite athletes, that's what they're doing in order to get elite in their sport. You're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, which is creating repetitive stress to the body. And so really it's managing that repetitive stress and making sure that as you break down tissue, we rebuild and repair tissue, and we repair it correctly as opposed to the way the body wants to do it, which is laying down scar tissue. So otherwise you're going to get shortened tissue, and a lot of times athletes actually get worse because they're training, and they're not repairing. And a lot of that is lost especially in the high school world, because elite athletes tend to rise to the top anyway. And what we want people to understand is that we can help people become that much more elite, and we can take the elite athlete and make them even better. And I think that's what you've had in your experience, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.